native born are about 84.3%, about 8.4% of immigrants who were foreign born before 1990, and 7.3% of foreign born that came after 1990. I'm going to use this arrow thing to show you where that information is. So we'll move to the next slide. And what we really want to do here is, maybe we can move to the next slide. What we really want to do is make this table. And now we are in a position to at least put the labels on the variables of immigration, which is up here, and income, which is down here, because we went back and saw the those categories given to us on the data set. Native born immigration before 1990, immigration between 1990 and 2005, and then we have income variables that will allow us to then figure out, when we put numbers in this table, whether our hypothesis is true, whether the people who are the most recent immigrants have the lower levels of income, native born have the highest levels of income, and that's what we're going to do next. So if we go back to program, we're actually going to make a crosstab. The heart of this contingency table program is to make a contingency table or a crosstab. And so of the few variables that we have, we get to choose first what the row variable is going to be. In this case, it's earnings or income. And then the column variable is going to be immigration status. And you could reverse that. You could put the row variable as immigration and the column variable as earnings. But then you, of course, had to present the table the other way to get the results you want. And depending on how you teach, whether you think the independent variable should be the row variable or the independent variable should be the column variable, you can decide how you tell the students that which way you want to set it up. There's no hard and fast rule among all the teachers that we've dealt with over the years. Anyway, we now have a row variable of earnings and a column variable of income, and we click OK, and you can see that there goes a table. It's popped up with frequencies in it. And on top of it, on the right-hand side of the program, you can see it actually is registered that the row variable is earnings and the column variable is immigration, so that you have a record of what you've done. Now, you know, in order to test this hypothesis, those numbers are not as interesting than percentages. If we percentages across down, or percentage across for percentage down. So let's do it both ways, just for the heck of it. Let's first percentage across. And what we will get is on the top table, the percentage is going across, and the bottom table we percentaged down. So we actually did it twice. You didn't see it. We did it so quick you didn't actually see that. But the point of this is to show that only one of these tables answers the question that we pose. That is, are people that are most recently arrived less likely to have incomes than people who are native born? And you can decide for yourself which table answers that question. But I would put my money on the bottom table, because the bottom table allows us to compare the entire income distribution of the recent arrivals with the entire income distribution of the native born. Whereas the top table answers the question, but not the question that we have asked. A question simply gives you, for each income category, what percentage were native born. It's a different kind of question with a different kind of answer. But when you teach contingency tables, it's the most fundamental thing that you have to get across to the students, that the dependent variable is the thing that gets percentaged along, and the independent variable is the other dimension. And you know, sometimes I give dozens of examples of this until students are able to understand which way to percentage a table. And of course, this program is flexible enough that you can percentage it both ways. And that allows them to make mistakes, and to see if they percentage it the wrong way, they get results that are not really very interesting or receptive to the question that they've asked. Okay, so say we're going to percentage this table down. We can also do a graph. We move to the next slide. All right. Can we move to the next slide? This is being done long distance, so can we move to the next slide? If we can. Move to the next slide.
I'm sorry, it should be updated. Hopefully it's updating on people's screens.
Okay, well, my screen, which I'm in a different place where they're putting this up, is not changed at all. So, but when you do this on your own interactive computer, you'll see this changes right away. JP, do you think we just go back to the regular website or something?
Sure, we can do that. Sorry, looks like it's showing up appropriately on our screen. I apologize for that. What I can do is actually open this up. Can jump a little bit ahead maybe to the interactive demonstration. Let's do that right now. Okay. Are you seeing this this now, Bill?
I'm seeing the SSDAN homepage.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we're now going to redo this, but like in real time. That was from PowerPoint. This is in real time. So we're going to start that same data set. And so this is something you can follow the same way we've done it before. We're going to, the data set is WorkM05. Went by too quickly, but you don't have to worry about it. We're doing it automatically. And we're going to go look at the edit menu. Let's show the frequency distributions that we did, or the command menu. Let's look at the marginal. And this is the same stuff we just saw. We're just doing this live on the website rather than with PowerPoint, which held this up a few minutes ago. And you can see, in this case, the earnings distribution, about 8.7% of the population we're looking at is making over $100,000 a year. 22.8% are making less than $25,000 a year. And now let's go back and make that table that we had so much trouble with on the PowerPoint version. And if we hit cross-tab, we will soon will pop up. We hit earnings as the row variable, and we hit immigration as the column variable. And now we're going to percent. First, we'll look at the frequency distribution that we saw before. You can see that pop up under the marginals. And then we can look at the percent down, which is what we really were trying to get at here. And you'll see that it shows a percentage down. Now, for the recent foreign-born new immigrants, about 45% of them make less than $25,000 a year, whereas among the native-born, only 20% of them make less than $25,000 a year. Many more of them are making more middle-class incomes. So that gives us a sense of what we can see. Now, we also have nice graphics on this, and let's show them the graphics. If you go to the menu that says table, and let's look at the stacked bar charts. What the stacked bar chart will show you is for each of these three immigrant statuses that the most recent immigrants are less likely to make high incomes, more likely to make low incomes, but among the native-born, it's a much more I'd say evenly distributed income distribution. So that pretty much goes along with what our hypothesis was among the whole population. But you'll remember the second question we asked was what would happen if you look at specific racial groups, especially Hispanics and Asians. And what we can do for this table is control the table of earnings by immigration and reproduce that table for each and every racial group in our file here. And we hit Race Lab as our control. And then we then again have to say what we want. We want a percent down when we look at this. And up will pop immediately several tables, one for each and every race and ethnic group. The bottom one is for the uninteresting category, non-Latino other. We have Latinos, we have non-Latino whites, non-Latino blacks, non-Latino Asians, and non-Latino others. But let's look particularly at Hispanics, if we can do that. I guess we can look at all of them, and then we'll pull out Hispanics. We'll look at the stack bars, and it allows us to look at each one of those groups. There's non-Latino whites. Let's keep going. And you can look at that same relationship for each of the race and ethnic groups, but we're really only interested in Asians, or non-Latino Asians, and Hispanics. I guess we can pull that one out, or Latinos. And you can see that in both cases, there's lower incomes among the more recently arrived foreign-born than there are among the longer-term foreign-born, and then versus the native-born. For Latinos, it's much sharper, the distinction, so that for Latinos, for the recent foreign-born, really, many of them have low income compared to the